Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All righty, welcome into a Thursday edition of the JP Peterson Show. We are locked and loaded today with tons of great topics. I can't wait to get to all of them. All the Pro Bowl snubs for the Bucks. Do we really care? Are we going to be indignant about it? We might. We got the Bolts tonight playing in Minnesota, where they haven't won since I think Bill Clinton was president. Did I mention Clinton? No, I might mention Stephen Hawking, and Jimmy Kimmel, but I'm not going.
This might be a fun show, boys and girls. Y'all might want to buckle in right now. Just buckle in. I'm telling you.
The pre-show was really good.
It was great.
The pre-show was outstanding, but you'll never see it. Oh, yeah.
We need to make a subscription service to tune in and watch the pre-show.
IndyCar Tim, that's him. Tim Ham from Dallas, our DSP affiliate. What's up, partner? How are you?
What's going on, brother, man? I'm having a good time this morning already.
I'm glad you're out of the ER, for God's sakes. I'm getting my cornea scratched by Tally the Wonder Dog. You're going to the ER. I mean, what the hell's going on around here?
Well, I just was with too many beautiful ladies the week before. My heart just couldn't handle it anymore.
Then you might be on the list. Let me check.
I mean, I like him young, but not that young. Come on now.
See, Prince Andrew, Jimmy Kimmel is going down. Stephen.
No
Hawking.
IndyCar Tim, right?
Stephen Hawking. How the hell does that work? By the way, the memes on Twitter.
First, but I want to see video of that.
Well, there's lots of memes you can.
There
look
are,
at.
yeah.
There actually is a Family Guy. Of course, they predict everything. There's a Family Guy little clip that is making the rounds. But I mean, it's just. I mean, we're not going there. Well, maybe. I mean, what could be worse? Blake Snell signing with the Yankees? Oh my God, is that going to happen? I think it is.
No,
I think it is. So we're going to go see Blake Snell, where we traded him away for a bunch of slapdick prospects, and we got to see him freaking 4 or 5 times this year pitch against us. I don't want to see that, but that's part of the news we're going to get to. But yeah, we got Buck stuff, we got Bolt stuff. Greg Wolf's going to join us, my colleague and the Bolts hype man, in-stadium host who just got back from the Winter Classic in Seattle, where he's been doing those for a while. So we'll chat with him about that experience. What's going on with the Bolts? By the way, they called up Sean Day and Declan Carlisle from Syracuse, put Sergachev on the injured reserve. So the blue line is not getting any better for the Lightning anytime soon. So they're definitely going to have to try to do something to get this team to play some better defense. So tonight they're at Minnesota, where literally they haven't won since Dwayne Rollison was in net, which is like a long time ago. So we'll talk some Bolts as well today with Greg Wolf. Wander Franco arrested. We'll get to that as well. That's a crazy ass story going on down in the DR.
Speaking of young girls.
Yeah. Wow. A lot of that going on around here. Wow. I mean, what the hell? Oh my God. All right. So let's, of course, we got a big football game coming up this weekend. So let's dive in on that, shall we, Timmy? Baker Mayfield met with the media yesterday. Todd Bowles chatted with the media yesterday. Just in watching how Baker absorbed this injury and the shot that he took from Tyrann Mathieu from the cheap shot Saints, who just love to make sure that the Bucs feel the pain even after the game as it wrecks their season, right? They've done it to Godwin. They've done it to so many of our players, and this is just the latest. Let's take a cheap shot at Baker Mayfield so maybe he can't play so well next week in Carolina. Well, mission accomplished once again, and although he doesn't have any broken ribs, Baker did not practice yesterday. Bowles said he could not have practiced, even though it was a walkthrough, and we'll see what happens this week. So we're going to play a couple of clips, and just in digesting the clips that we've seen in the interviews I saw yesterday with the other players and Baker and everybody, this is a tight spot for the Buccaneers, because I've seen this before. I've seen quarterbacks try to go out and play with this type of injury, and for the first quarter and a half, they can throw, but it gets worse and worse and worse as the game goes on. The accuracy is affected because there's obviously going to be some type of pain killing thing going on. So your accuracy is affected, your velocity is affected. And when you're Baker Mayfield, you don't have a lot of room for error. You are not a big guy. So when you look at his mechanics, he puts everything into every throw. It's not an Aaron Rodgers flick of the wrist. It's not, it's not a Tom Brady fluid motion. It is, a big 6'5", 235-pound quarterback. This is a smaller quarterback that has to rotate his hips and put his entire body and torso into every throw in order to be effective. That's who he is, and that's what happens with small quarterbacks. So that being the case, he's going to have his footwork right. Everything's going to have to be right for him to be. And there's let's just be honest there's a small margin for error with Baker Mayfield. And when he's throwing through tight windows like he did against the Packers and the Jaguars, he's great. And when he's holding the ball, he's terrible. And when you're injured, you're not as confident. You tend to hold the ball. To me, it doesn't line up as a positive move for the Buccaneers to play a significantly injured Baker Mayfield over Kyle Trask. Now, I'm not here, I'm not some Kyle Trask guy. I want to see him, and I've been wanting to see him, and I don't like Baker. No, I love Baker. But this is exactly the type of decisions that Todd Bowles hates to make. Tough decisions that puts his ass on the line where he could be criticized. And to be frank, most coaches don't like making these decisions, because if you put Baker Mayfield in there and he doesn't play well, it's like, oh, he was hurt and, tough luck, blah, 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 blah. Right. And very rarely is it like, well, why did you play him? It's like, well, if he can go, he can go. That's not good football. And I've heard this tons and tons over my career covering these, and it happens with not just quarterbacks, but other players. And you see them go out there and they can't play. They cannot play, but they put them out there anyway. We've seen that with Devin White. Where he catches an interception and he can't run over or attempt to even return it for a touchdown because he's got an injury, and yet you put him out there. What are you doing?
Well, and you would think out of all the games that he's coached in his head coaching career, this would be the game where he would make the most prudent decisions, because this game could be his career.
Yes.
This game could dictate whether he has a job here next year or not. And this isn't one of those situations you've got with the upper echelon teams like the Ravens, the Cowboys, the 49ers, where you've got everything set and you're going to rest your quarterbacks, rest your starters. You can't just throw Kyle Trask in there because you guys know who your opponent is next week.
Right.
He's coaching for the playoffs right now. You have to have Baker Mayfield in there. So it's not a question of should he play or shouldn't he play. Hurt or not, he's going to play.
Right.
Now, you'll know real quick if he's going to be effective or not. Then you can adjust your decision based on that. But you would think Todd Bowles, he's coaching for his NFL life right now. So he's got to make the right decision.
And the right decision may be not playing Baker Mayfield.
Right.
In this particular situation, if you have a Kyle Trask, who we saw in preseason, and this is the problem with him not having a lot of experience, like he could have gotten in the last game of last year. To throw a young player into this situation, I'll be the first one to say, is not ideal. It's not ideal, but he's a professional football player. And I hear this all the time. Oh, we don't want to go to the backups. How many times have we seen backups play well this year? Time and time and time again. And it's, is it always the case? No, but is it 50-50? Is it 75-20? I don't know. I don't have those numbers in front of me. Just anecdotally, if you have a situation like this where you're playing a bad team, you're playing a bad football team in the Carolina Panthers. Now I know they're still fighting, but they got boat raced last week by the Jaguars, and it seems to me their owners throwing drinks on people. It just seems like that it is unraveled. Now, are they going to certainly rally their troops? They got to go play the game, right? They're professionals. They're gonna you got interim coaches. They're gonna let it all rip. I get all that, but they're just not a good football team. They're not a good football team. The Bucs struggled with them and needed a late interception by Antoine Winfield Jr. to win the game 20-18 in week 13. I get all that. But I'm, and this is not for me. I'm not sitting here Monday morning quarterbacking or Thursday morning quarterbacking and going, you got to start Kyle Trask. What I'm saying is this is the essence of coaching. This is the essence of coaching. And this is where good coaches make great decisions and bad coaches make bad decisions. So to your point, Tim, yeah, this is the decision of his life. And he's going to have to watch Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker's probably not going to practice today. Kyle Trask is going to get all the reps, and he'll probably get most of the reps on Friday as well. Baker's probably not going to practice this week. Do I want to go into a do or die game with a quarterback who hasn't practiced all week, is coming off a horrible game, and is limited when I can go in with a healthy quarterback with a big arm who can make the throws and has tons of weapons to work with and better be ready to play? He's been in this system, or not this system, but he's been around for a long time. And he's on the roster for a reason. You got to have the confidence, or you should have the confidence, that he can go in and play effectively. And if he can't, that's another indictment of the coaching staff for not developing this player. What I saw in preseason tells me he could go out and beat the Carolina Panthers. He should be able to go out and beat the Carolina Panthers. Now, Baker Mayfield should be able to go out and beat the Carolina Panthers. Maybe it's 75%, but is he 75%? Is he 50? Is he 25? You can't just throw him out here because he's your starter. And will he get, you put Kyle Trask in a situation like this, what did you expect? I get it. That's going to be the criticism, but you have to have the cojones as a coach to go with your gut feeling on what you see in practice this week. And I'm here to tell you, that goes against his brand. Mm-hmm. That goes to my point is, if Baker is only 25% or 50%, it's going to be a problem, because I know he's going to start him. And if he can't play, then I'm going to be on here on Monday morning saying, why the hell didn't you play Kyle Trask? I don't know if Kyle Trask would have won the game, but if Baker comes out and he can't throw and he's limited and he's just checking it down and the Panthers know it, then you screwed yourself. Don't limit your entire team because of one player. You've got a good football team. You've got a defense that, if you stay aggressive and get after Brian, you will be able, Bryce Young, you will be able to beat this team. You did it last time. He made a couple of big throws. They got a couple of cheapies, but for the most part, you beat him up. And you stay aggressive, you get after his ass, and you win the game. You run the football, which you can do against this team, and you go out and you win this game. You don't have to always win it by your quarterback. And you rally the troops to do this. So it's a tough decision. My point being, it's a tough decision. And it's going to be a decision that probably decides whether he stays or goes. Because if this team loses this game, Todd Bowles is not coming back. Even if they win the game, I'm not sure Todd Bowles is coming back.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be written about this situation in terms of, and Baker, interesting for him. I know they're working on a contract extension for Baker Mayfield. I know that for a fact.
As they should.
And the fact that, if I'm Baker, and he, we're going to hear in a second, he wants to play. Jameis Winston wanted to play those final two games of 2019, and it cost him probably about $80 million or more.
Yeah.
Because his season up until those last two games was probably enough to bring him back. But he went out there with a torn meniscus in his knee and a broken thumb on his passing hand, and threw 6 interceptions the final 2 weeks, and cost himself, of course, went to the press conference and I'm balling. Being delusional probably cost
different definitions of balling, apparently.
Yeah, check your sheet. Check your sheet. I mean, I love Jameis, always have. But man, I was like, whoops, that was probably not as self-aware as we needed to be in that moment, Mr. Man. But anyway, that story is past. But there would have been, he would have been sitting there with about 4,800 yards, 32 touchdown passes on the season, and everybody going, we got to re-sign him, But he went out there and played injured and played like crap. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but that's Tom Brady being available probably also sealed his fate as well. But anyway, so you can't go out there and play hurt. And Baker will hurt the team if he can't do what he needs to do. And he needs to be honest with the coaching staff. Baker, you don't need this to get your extension. Don't go out there and try to prove to the world that you're the toughest guy in the world. If you can't play, don't play. Trust your teammates, trust your coaching staff, and let them go out and win the game. You come back for the playoffs and win. So that this is going to be a fascinating watch over the next couple of days in terms of decision making, preparation. It's going to be
and you know, with the defense that Tampa's supposed to have,
yeah,
Baker shouldn't have to go out and win the game for you against the Carolina freaking Panthers. All right.
Yes.
You should be able to go out and win that game 10-6 if you have to, with Baker doing the minimal amount of work he has to do to get those 10 points. That's how the game should go. Is that the way the game's going to be coached? Who knows?
Yeah. No. Oh, this is an interesting comment. Good morning, James. JP, you are the only person suggesting Trask should start the game. Yeah, you know, I'm usually that. Yeah, that can be said about a lot of topics, my friend. But I'm not. So we don't twist the words here. I'm not suggesting that Trask should start the game if Baker is healthy and can play. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if Baker is 50%, Trask should start. If he's 60%, Trask should start. If we getting closer to 75, then it's Baker. So then, I mean, but where do you know, how do you determine that? How do you determine that? I won't be able to do it because I'm not watching every throw in practice. But I'll tell you this, if he doesn't practice at all this week and you try to shoot him up and put him out there on Sunday, I think that's a terrible idea. I think that is a terrible, terrible choice. I will say this, I will take a healthy Trask over a Baker Mayfield who needs to get shot up to play and hasn't practiced all week. I'll say that unequivocally, unequivocally. And, you know, am I going to put a huge, dangerous game plan on Kyle Trask? No, we're not doing that. We're going to manage the game and go out and win the damn football game. And I'm going to challenge my other players. Hey, your leader can't go today because the Saints busted him up last week with a cheap shot. So I'm challenging all you guys to get off your ass like you didn't do last week and go win a football game for your captain. All right? He can't play today. He tried to go, he's got the heart of a lion, but he knows, and he's being honest with me and says, I don't want to hurt the team today, coach. I think I should sit this one out. I'm not, and nobody is going to say, oh, you wussy. You've proven yourself, bro.
Yeah,
you don't need to prove that to anybody. Nobody on that team, if you say you can't go, is going to say, oh, Baker, the time we needed you. No. They know you're going to do everything you can to get ready. If he gets ready and he can throw the ball, on Saturday, and you could see see something there, then yeah, of course you go with Baker. Duh. But don't be afraid. Don't be completely, and this is where I'm afraid of Bowles, because this is not his MO. He is the ultimate, conservative. Don't make a decision that's going to, come back on me as the coach. But you have to be bold. You have to evaluate it, and don't say, oh, I'll be the guy that didn't start Baker Mayfield. If he can't go, he can't go. And if you tell me he can't go, he can't go. And I trust you as the coach. And that's okay. I mean, this idea that if you don't have a quarterback, my God, FSU, you can't play football, you're starting quarterback. I mean, how many times do we have to look around the league? Jesus.
Just cancel the rest of the games because you lost your quarterback.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. How the hell do you think Tom Brady got to be the greatest of all time? It wasn't by a coach's decision to put him in there. Drew Bledsoe got hurt. So, backup
Drew Bledsoe got Tom Brady and he got Tony Romo'd.
Yeah.
happened in both places.
There you go. There's plenty of guys waiting in the wings that can play. Now, can you accuse me of having a little bit of confidence in Kyle Trask? Yes, you can. I'll take that. What I saw in the preseason and what I've seen from Kyle Trask, I think he can do a good enough job to beat the Carolina Panthers. Yes, I do. I might be wrong, but I feel that way.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I think it's going to be fascinating. And And Todd Bowles, you're going to earn your money this week. And so is Dave Canales, right? And so is the entire staff. They've got to be honest with themselves and figure this out.
But why start now?
That's a good point.
That's what's so maddening about all of this.
All right, let's listen to Todd Bowles here. This is the tail end of his press conference. This goes about a minute and a half. Questions about Baker.
The guys all the way around the board. Who plays the smartest is going to win the ball game.
I know today, Wednesdays are walkthrough, but with Baker's ribs, tomorrow will Trask get like more reps with the first unit to be ready just in case? Or?
Yeah, we'll get some more reps. He's been preparing all year. Baker's sore tomorrow. Trask will get the reps, and we'll kind of go from there.
Do you expect Baker will practice tomorrow?
Got to see how he's feeling. I can't answer that.
Did he do what he was required to do today? Would he be in full go today?
He would not have practiced today.
He would not have practiced.
No.
Going into this weekend with you guys in your division as well, there's 11 teams still playing for a playoff spot in the NFC and AFC. In your mind, is that the parity of the NFL today, or is it a symptom of something else?
For me, honestly, I could really care less about the 10 teams. I'm just worried about ours.
How concerned are you that Baker will make it by Sunday?
It's always a concern when one of your star players are hurt, so we'll see how it goes. We have every confidence in Trask if he has to play. Baker's going to try and play. If he's not healthy, he can't play. If he's healthy enough to play, he will.
And that's that.
Thanks.
Well, he has every confidence in Trask.
Those might have been some of the most honest answers I've ever heard in my life from Todd Bowles.
Yeah. What does it sound like to you? What he thinks right now?
Oh, I think he thinks Trask is starting.
I do too.
Yeah, there's no question. After hearing that,
Yeah.
I think he knows Trask is starting.
No. And you can also tell, guys, by the way, a guy takes a hit. And you go watch that hit that he took and the aftermath. And I was honestly shocked that he didn't have broken ribs.
Yeah.
I was very shocked that there wasn't a fracture of some sort because he was in an enormous amount of pain. For Baker to act like that, because he's a tough son of a bitch. And for him to act like that, he was in some serious, serious pain. And, I've, not played professional quarterback, obviously, but I've had a rib injury and tried to throw the football.
Well, it just hurts to breathe when you've got
it
a
hurts
rib
to
injury.
breathe. It hurts to breathe. And when you're, like I said, when you're a full effort thrower like he is, you have to, for the radio audience, I'm mimicking a throw. You have to put the ball behind you, which stretches those muscles across your sternum and the ribs. Ouch. I mean,
Torques the whole
effing
rib cage.
ouch.
Yeah.
And then you have to quickly contract them as you throw forward. It's, honestly, oblique, sternum, chest, all that is, they're all bad for a quarterback. But for a quarterback like him, it's, those are, he's going to have to be an enormously quick healer. And again, if you're impaired in any way in your throwing motion, it can, it affects the accuracy, obviously. And in the NFL, folks, the difference between a pick six and a 10-yard completed out is about a half a yard. That's it. A half a yard in a quarter of a second. If it's late or it's not right, it's the other way. And those are things you cannot monkey around with. So we shall see. And it comes at a bad time, and F the Saints for doing that crap again. But here we are.
Rivalry game, JP.
What's that?
Rivalry game, division game.
Yeah.
All hits are good hits.
I agree. And I wish the Bucs would learn that. It's time to start dishing those hits out to them too.
Yeah. Quit being the recipient all the time and start dishing them out. Yeah.
It's as we've said many times on the show this week. What did we learn from the Christmas story and the Scott Farkas affair? Unless you stand up to the bully, they're going to keep bullying you. So stop getting your ass kicked and get Ralphie mad and take it to him next time. Do it to the Panthers. Take it out on the Panthers. That would be nice.
Definitely.
All right, let's listen to Baker from yesterday. He's pretty good hiding everything, but we'll see what we can get from this. Listen to the first couple minutes anyway, where he talks about his injury.
On it always helps.
I know every rib injury is a little different with the location and things like that, but just how does that impact your ability to function as a quarterback?
Obviously didn't exactly test it out today. Just more mental reps for everybody, but Yeah, just going to see it. Like I said, I haven't tested it out, so just got to get loose, and I'm sure by the time closer to game time, adrenaline will be rolling, especially with where we're sitting at right now situationally.
You wouldn't characterize it as any kind of setback or anything else since Sunday, just normal soreness?
Yeah, normal soreness just progresses throughout the week, and keep going.
Is there any doubt in your mind that you won't be out there Sunday?
I'll do everything I can to be out there, that's for sure. Division on the line, playoff hopes on the line, going back to Carolina, yeah, I'll do everything I can.
With your past injuries, though, with ribs, and again, I know every rib injury is a little different, like the location, whether it's the anterior, what did you, like, when you kind of were dealing with that, were there certain things that maybe were really uncomfortable, like, just even the stretch, when you're got your arms stretched and you're making the throw?
Yeah, it's one of those things that you have to just constantly stay warm. You can't let it tighten up. You just got to continually be loose, whether it's hot packs on the sideline, just making sure you get the extra work in, things like that. So every one of them's different, but especially for quarterback having to rotate to throw, just got to stay loose.
They still have the old flak jacket available? Those things? I don't even know.
We'll see what we can do. Maybe, Kevlar, we'll see.
Kevlar.
Yeah, I'll be ready to go.
They make those giant ones now, too.
I don't want to be too puffy.
I don't want to be too puffy. It's my favorite line. That's good. That's all we got for Baker on the injury. I mean, even that tells me that it's in. Is there any doubt in your mind? Well, I'm going to do everything I can. I think he knows he's not playing, or he knows it's going to be a
long
tough
shot.
go. Yeah, it's a long shot. So listen, and if that's the case, that's okay. That is okay. And I'd rather the team make the decision early in the week. They don't have to tell anybody. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Put him on the injury report and make him questionable. That's fine. But if you really, you got to right now, like yesterday's practice, number one, today's practice and Friday's practice, you have to go into this game as if Kyle Trask is starting the game. That's it. Zero mindset is on Kyle Trask and get him ready to play. And boy, what drama it will be. What drama it will be on Sunday at 1 o'clock with 17 fans in attendance at Charlotte, whatever the hell.
Who would have thought there would be drama for the Bucks in Week 18 against the Panthers? Right,
right,
I mean,
right.
Come on,
yeah, and
can't
it's
script this stuff.
Which by the way, as an aside, is all the more reason you go out and you take care of business last week when you had a healthy Baker Mayfield to play.
Yeah.
And you went out there and, to your own admission, played flat and weren't ready to play. That is why you never take anything for granted in this league. Not one game. You have a chance to do it, go out and do it and treat it like it was your last opportunity, like it was do or die, and you did not. You self-admittedly, I heard guys saying, well, we knew he had 2 games to do it. That is human nature. That is human nature, and I get it. But that is A1 for that coach and that staff to go into that building on Monday morning. And, first of all, I'm not giving – why is there – you have a victory Monday. I get it. Really? You won a big game. Why? Why? You got a do-or-die game against the Saints. Why are you giving them the day off? I ain't giving them the day off. You're going to get your ass in here. We're not going to do anything physical, but we are going to set the tone that there is no victory Monday this week because it's Saints week and the damn division is on the line. Your players can rest in a desk in the facility, and they can also get treatment in the facility, and they can get their minds right, like Dennis Allen did and said, you know what? We're practicing in pads this week. What did that do? That sent a signal to his team like, we ain't losing. We're going to out-physical this team like we normally do. And we're gonna win this game. What was the Bowls message? It's Victory Monday. Take some time off, and then get back in here on Wednesday, and we'll walk through again, and we'll get ready for the Saints.
No
difference there, Tim.
No intensity at all.
Yeah, none. Victory Monday. Woo! Yay!
You should have a Victory Monday lunch. All right, celebrate during lunch that you won the game on Sunday. And be happy with that, and then you move on. You forget about it, and you start prepping on Monday afternoon.
This is what I say after that game. We're in position, guys. This is my post-game speech. We're in position to win the NFC South next week in front of our fans. In front of our fans, in front of our owners, against our rival. We're not waiting for Week 18. We're going to do it next week. So there is no Victory Monday because this is Saints Week. We're going to work our freaking asses off. And this is going to be, that's what I do. Victory Monday. Woo.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Everybody get a rest. Get rest. So go put your feet up.
Go get your manicure.
Yeah, we'll take care of everything. We'll get the game plan going. Like evidently the coaches had Victory Monday as well. I'm sorry I can't get over it. I can't get over it. I'm not, because it has residue. This is why you don't wait for week 18.
Yeah.
All right, quick break. By the way, we got a lot of good comments coming in. I will get to them, I promise, as we go through the show. We got one guest coming on today, and that's Greg Wolf. Just got back for the Winter Classic. We're going to talk some Bolts with him. He'll have some thoughts on the Bucks too. You watch. Always great interview. Greg Wolf joining us next. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawGroup.com. Great folks over there. Scott Jeeves probably working in his office in St. Pete or Tampa today. He's in there all the time working for you. It's a small firm with a big advantage, and that's giving you personal service. So they can go toe-to-toe with the big boys, but you're going to get calls back and be treated with the personal service that you deserve. It's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawGroup.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Are you tired of those stuffy, overpriced sports bars? Well, come join the fun at the Patio in South Tampa and watch your favorite football teams under the stars in a tropical paradise. Yeah, it's a unique setting with huge wood decks beneath the trees, and don't worry, they have an inside AC bar with all your favorite bar games as well. The Patio has all the NFL and UFC sports packages, and it's home to the Tampa Gator Club and Bills Mafia, but all fans are welcome at any time. Hey, my FSU buddies love to watch the Noles at the Patio. It's also home to a great happy hour. Weekdays, get $4 White Claw vodka drinks and $4 White Claw seltzers, $1 off all beer and wine from 3 to 7:30. And every Friday happy hour, join us for Football Friday. It's our live broadcast from 5 to 7 with tons of specials and the fan mic for you to join the show. We'll have swag and ticket giveaways as well. So come out for the live broadcast 5 to 7 every Friday at the Patio and come watch football in a tropical paradise all season long. It's 421 South McDill, just a few blocks south of Kennedy. Everyone meets at the Patio.
Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to GeddesGordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo and his group over there will get you the great personal attention that you deserve. That's what we do here. We get your personal attention, folks. From lawyers to doctors, everything. That's what you deserve. Don't settle for a primary care that gives you 15 minutes every 6 months, folks. He'll spend an hour and a half with you with your blood work and devise something that is personal and perfect for you, whether it's testosterone replacement, nutrition, immune system. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Greg Wolf, my colleague at the Lightning, who has been off moonlighting at the Winter Classic, eschewing his duties with the Lightning. Don't worry, you're feeling great. But that looked like a whole lot of fun. What's up, Greg? How are you?
Doing fantastic, JP. How you doing today?
I'm great, man. I spent the whole entire night on Twitter reading about Stephen Hawking. It's fantastic.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on out there, man. I don't even know when I'm on the Twitter sphere, I am at the point sometimes where I get into such a deep rabbit hole that I have to literally pull myself out. I have to pull myself out. But yeah, dude, there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on that channel.
I kind of wish I was doing like a regular morning show, like over at the Bone of
Yeah.
where I mean, so much stuff that you could be talking about. We try to keep it to sports here for the most part, but I mean, my Lord, as you were in radio for so long, what is it? It's a smorgasbord of just craziness going on. It's
yeah. When I did see his name pop up and saw midgets, I'm like, what is really happening right now? This is insanity, dude.
These are the people running our country.
Little person, though. I love little people.
Of course we do. Yeah. All right. So tell me all about the Winter Classic. I'm like watching this from afar on your feed, and we got the Golden Knights showing up as in Elvis impersonator gear. The Kraken, who are playing great hockey, by the way. Our man Yanni Gord scored. 47,000 people out there in Seattle. What was this like?
Man, I am obviously blessed and privileged to be able to do these events and host these events for the National Hockey League, and it's really ramped up over the past few seasons. And, just when I think they can't outdo themselves when it comes to these outdoor games, they continually take things up a notch and completely blow my mind every single time. I mean, I was just in Edmonton in October for the Heritage Classic, and that experience again just tying in the culture of Edmonton and the oil country, and just they did a fantastic job at that event. And even last year in Fenway Park with Boston, I was like, this is just exceptional. The mystique of the ballpark, the weather, the fans, it was next level. And then here comes Seattle, and didn't really know what to expect, but again, to think that they couldn't take things up a notch, they absolutely did. I'm sure you guys saw the scene set, if you will, how they incorporated all of the Seattle culture, the Pike Market throwing the fish as the players came out, just all the little things, the decorative, the docks and the fishing net and the buoys, and just the flyover with the helicopter and the dudes hanging down by a rope with the American flag. I mean, it was just, it was really, excuse me, it was really a spectacle to be a part of again. But then the NHL, again, they've done an exceptional job of taking these outdoor games and bringing them to life, but just a larger than life experience for the fans. And for those that are having the opportunity to catch it on television, you really need to be in those environments to really kind of grasp the moment and how big of a spectacle it really is. But kudos to the NHL once again, taking things to the next level and really completing that with an A+ grade for sure.
And I was able to, Greg, go to the Winter Classic here in Dallas a few years ago.
Yep.
Excuse me. And it's not, good Lord, getting all choked up.
I know. I'm with you.
It's not the greatest. And I'll tell you, this was at the Cotton Bowl here in Dallas. Obviously, it's not
Terrible stadium.
It is. It's 100 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. The press box is terrible, by the way. That's a different story for another day. But it's not the greatest viewing experience live. but it is one of the greatest experiences live, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Like it's a party to be there. It's a kind of a once in a lifetime thing for a lot of people. And just, I'm so happy that the NHL has done this and that they've carried it on, and they're changing locations every year and getting the newer teams involved like Vegas and Seattle. And like you said, watching that on TV, I was just amazed at how they, like you said, incorporated everything about Seattle. And I know some of those Seattle players walking past the guys throwing the fish were a little terrified. Got hit, but
I know they practiced that. I mean, we watched them in rehearsals practicing that, and I remember the guy that was like kind of championing the group, if you will, of fishermen, was making sure that, guys, listen, you have to get those arcs on those fish. Those were legitimate fish. They were actually wrapped in like plastic. I know you couldn't really see that when they were throwing them, just obviously to make sure that the fish guts or anything would stay contained. But it was all about the arc and making sure that when they threw those fish that they got a good arc on them so that there was no even inkling or attempt that it would hit a player. And they did that probably, 20 times. I watched them throw those fish just to make sure that they had the timing right and the arc right. So again, it's just those little things that you don't even think about, that there's so much that goes into it. And then Sir Mix-a-Lot, with his performance for the pregame to kind of like welcome in the players and the timing. I mean, everything is so timed to the second. It's just absolutely remarkable to see how such a production on that scale. I mean, we're privileged at Amalie Arena. We're a part of the Lightning Vision crew, and you and I both know everything that goes into that game night production every single night on a local level. Now take that up about 10 notches for a National League event like that. It's just, it really is exceptional, and kudos to the league, like you said, for continuing to do these every year. Obviously, we've got the All-Star festivities happening in about a month in Toronto. I'll be up there for that. And then right after that, literally 2 weeks after that, is the Stadium Series in Jersey at MetLife Stadium this year, which is actually 2 games. On the 17th, you've got the Flyers battling the Devils with a Jonas Brothers concert before the game. And then the Sunday, you've got the Islanders-Rangers Battle of New York, both games at MetLife Stadium. So, again, they're continually taking these games and taking them up a notch, and it's truly exceptional.
I went to the one, obviously the Lightning one in Nashville, and with my daughter, who was going to school there, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I always talk about, life is about making memories, right? And that was a memory I will never, ever forget. She loved it. We had such a good time. And so I love the NHL for this, because it feels like to me, and it not only on a national level, but a local level, especially with the Lightning, they care about the fans. Like, they care about doing stuff for the fans. They don't just, you can just throw a sheet of ice out there and get the players to come out and, people will watch. That's not the way they treat it. They're like, we're going to make this special. And we're going to put more money into it to make it special. And it's something about it's part of the character and the culture of the NHL that I love, is that fans, they really, really appreciate your fans. Like, baseball especially just takes their fans for granted. I think the NFL does to a large degree as well, but not the NHL. I think they do a phenomenal job. And this is absolutely example A of why I feel that way.
Agreed. And again, it's not just, the game itself. Like you said, it's the events leading up to it. It's, what they do also for the players and their families by allowing all of their families to participate, to allow them to have family skates before the game, to allow them to experience that as well. Because like you said, even for the players, they have no idea if they will ever get to play in an outdoor game like that again. Who knows when it will ever return to Seattle, because again, you've got so many teams across the league. They're trying to be fair and spreading it out to make sure every team gets an opportunity to participate in those events. But there's concerts and pregame fan zones. And like you said, it's so fan-centric. It's all about the fans and making sure that they have the best time ever. And I can tell you, the Kraken fans and the Golden Knight fans, even though it didn't, favor the Golden Knights, the Seattle fans, like you just said, had an absolute blast. And again, being that they're 2 of the newest franchises in the league, they've absolutely made their mark on those fans and them being able to experience what that event is like. So I had Steve Griggs on the Bolts block party with Kobe last week, and I 100% brought up the topic of a stadium series here in Tampa. And will we ever see that in our lifetime? Is that going to happen? And Griggs said, and I quote, "Sooner than later," is what he said. So I have no idea if that means in a year or 2 years or 3 years. It's obviously in engineering, and there's all these different issues. Obviously, we live in Florida. To have an outdoor game, it poses a lot of issues for us when it comes to weather and temperature. But we know January and February are two of the coldest months on record in this area. So they are working with, again, scientists and engineers and everybody possible to try to figure out how to make that happen in this area. And I'm telling you right now, they are working diligently on it. And I think we will see it hopefully sooner than later.
Also, I was going to ask you about that because that would be a spectacle at Raymond James. No question about that. But speaking of the Block Party podcast, I'm an avid listener, so I love podcasts. So much easier, fewer commercials, all that great stuff. You guys do a great job, and it especially you guys really. It just seems like such a casual conversation, and that's what I love about it. So tell me a little bit about the Block Party and how things are going and how it's received, how people can get it.
Yeah, so Kobe and I now we're heading into, we're in our second season of the dynamic duo, if you will, taking the helms on the Bolts block party. But it's been exceptional, man. Like you said, it's been great working with Kobe. He's getting really good at his his delivery, if you will, by getting a little bit more experience filling in on Valley Sports for the broadcast when Dave or Adam can't fill in with PK. So he's getting that broadcasting experience. Same, he's also in the booth when Phil sometimes can't travel or do games. So Kobe's, really kind of honed in on his skills, which has been great for the Block Party podcast. And so it's been awesome, man. Like you said, I feel like getting to meet the players on a more personal level, that's been something that I've really been wanting to do over the years. But again, being the host of the team, I'm in the stands when they're on the ice. There hasn't been a whole lot of interaction, over the years. And so this has been a great opportunity for me to finally be able to, sit down with these guys off the ice, ask the questions that I want to know as a fan. Yeah. Where you've got Kobe, coming at things from a player perspective, from a, purely experiential perspective, which I could never speak on. So the dynamic of me coming from a fan perspective and he coming from the player perspective, I think it's been really refreshing for the players and the personnel and the coaches because we're coming at things from two different angles. And I think the conversational piece, like you said, just us having a conversation, just, guys and ladies just chilling, I think that's why it's resonating with our fan base is because it's not so formal. It's just Greg and Kobe chilling, hanging out with these individuals. And I think it's been great. We've got a sponsor now with Highlight, and we're doing our Fact or Fiction segment, which, gives us the opportunity to dig deep and find some stuff on these guys like Franz Jean talking about when he crapped his pants during a game. I mean, there's been some really great stories. If you haven't checked out the Franz Jean episode, I implore you to go check that out today because the story of him crapping his pants was the funniest story we've ever had. Mind you, I ran into Todd Lewicki, our former CEO, who's now the president CEO in Seattle. I ran into Todd and got to chop it up with him for a little bit, and I showed him that episode of Franz, and he was dying, laughing so much he turned purple. I was like, Todd, take a breath. It was hilarious. So it was great stuff. So we're really enjoying the Block Party. We've done a couple live shows at the Cigar City Tap Room to start the year. We had Julian Breezebaugh. We had Victor Hedman. We just had Nikki Paul on the last show. And our next show will be January 16th. We just announced that, I think, yesterday. So if you want to be a part of the live show, again, we don't tell you who the guest is. It is a complete surprise until, so it kind of adds that element of mystery as well. I mean, imagine how our fans felt that didn't know that episode with, Victor Hedman and Nick Paul. Like, wow, this is awesome. I had no clue who the guest was going to be. And now you're in the audience, for some of our superstars. So again, our next episode is on January 16th at the Cigar City Tap Room. You can go to TampaBayLightning.com and get your reservations in for that. I would do that today. Do not wait.
I like that. All right, before you go, Our team is not, it's not where we're normally used to seeing it at the top of the division, but they're dealing with some injuries right now. What's your perspective on what we're seeing on the ice?
So again, I think at the end of the day, we're not that far out of where we need to be. Yes, it's unconventional for us as fans to be where we're at this point in the season. However, like you said, we have a pretty much a brand new team when we started this season with a lot of new guys, a lot of pieces to the puzzle. And again, we've been dealing with a plague of injuries. You can even go back to when Connor Sherry had his hand injury, and he's just now in the last week or two or couple weeks has been in the lineup. But again, he comes in and then other pieces go out. So we haven't been able to get that continuity, and that's kind of what I think has been hampering us this season is not being able to have that full strength, full crew that's been able to kind of figure out which lines are working best with which guys. And again, it's the timing, and it hasn't been great timing for us. So I'm not pushing the panic button. I will never push the panic button. But I think as we head towards the All-Star break, I think we'll know here in the next couple weeks if we're still in the mix, which I truly believe we will be.
Yeah.
I'm not fretting at all, because once we get healthy, and hopefully we do get all of our guys healthy into the second half of the season, I feel great about it. I think we've seen some signs of brilliance, and on those games when those lines are clicking and everything is clicking and Vazzy's on his game and the offense is moving, that's where we're at our peak. I think the defense, obviously, we know has been an issue, and now Sergey on the IR, and we're bringing guys up, and Sean Day is going down. It's constant, and I don't think we've had to deal with that for a while. And so it seems like we just can't quite get our finger on the pulse. But again, I believe in Julian, I believe in the product, and I believe we will come out of this on the other half of the season, and we'll be on the up and up. I truly believe it.
All right, Greg, great stuff, my friend. Tell everybody how they can get your content on social and everything else.
Yeah, please hit me up. I'm on Instagram. I'm on the Twitter or X or whatever the heck you want to call it, Greg Wolf TBL. And like JP said, I try to give you guys all that first-person perspective, whether I'm working National Hockey League events or on a game night. I love to give our fans that behind-the-scenes perspective of what we do, and I would love for you to give me a follow.
Absolutely. Best in the business. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate your time, my friend.
Thanks, JP. Have a good one, brother.
See you soon.
Be good.
See you soon. Next week as we get back to Amalie Arena. Yeah, tonight they play the Wild. Check this out. Last time the Bolts won in St. Paul or Minneapolis, John Cooper was the head coach of Norfolk. Vinny LeCavalier was our captain. Our home was called the St. Pete Times Forum. Dwayne Rollison was in the net. They played in the Southeast Division, and the Thrashers were in Atlanta. And Stephen Hawking was in the orgy line on Epstein.
There we go.
Had to get that in there. That's a long time since we won in Minnesota. So let's go up there and get a win tonight. And I'm not too confident, but we'll see.
We were talking Winter Classic with Greg, and I love talking Winter Classic because I think it is one of the greatest things that the NHL has done.
Yes.
In my life, my 52 years of watching hockey, but it's funny when you guys are talking about it, trying to do it in Tampa with the climates. We dealt with the same thing here in Dallas in 2020. It was in the 50s here in Dallas.
When was it? Was it January?
January 1st, 2020. Yeah. So it was right before COVID and all that crap hit in March, that March. But they were the week heading into it, they were thinking, man, it's going to rain. You can't have it raining on the ice. Are we going to put a canopy over it? Well, now is it still outdoor hockey? They'll never do it in Dallas again. And that's on the heels of like 10 years prior to that when we had the Super Bowl here. We had an ice storm come through in February.
I was there for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you couldn't get from Fort Worth to Dallas because the roads were iced over. So, we got the best of both worlds here in Dallas. But you take that situation in Dallas to, I don't know if you remember last year, 2020, well, now 2 years ago, 2022, when they had it in Minnesota.
Yeah.
What was it? The Wild and the Blues, I think, when the game time temperature was -5 degrees. And they said the NHL, they had to go the other way. They had to heat the ice.
Yeah. Wow.
Before the game.
Right.
To make it skatable.
I didn't
crazy.
realize that. And
it was
one of them, I think it was maybe in Boston, where there was the snowstorm. Like
Yeah,
you couldn't
remember that.
even see
So
the players,
great.
but it was cool to watch.
God, it was
And they're
great,
skating
man.
like you couldn't even see the lines on the ice because they were all covered up with snow. Yeah,
They
that
had to
was
go
fantastic.
shovel them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, and it just brings in that I mean, I didn't grow up playing pond hockey, but I think the people that did, they just love seeing outdoor hockey, and it's like, wow, that's really be like, I guess the college basketball has played games on a ship on an aircraft carrier.
Yep.
It might be cool to see an NBA game on on one of those beach courts in Malibu, but they'll never do that because
No. Can't sell enough tickets.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's fun, and we really appreciate Greg doing what he did. And he gets to go do all those things. So that's
Great
pretty cool.
job, man. It's a hard life.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to get into a little bit more Bolts talk. We'll talk some college football as well as we get set for the God, I can't even say it. The beauty pageant championship game on Monday nights.
You gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm fully invested in the Huskies. Fully invested in the Huskies.
Yeah,
We'll
me
get
too.
to that when we come back on the other side. We're brought to you by Synovus Bank. They are the local bank with a big bank feel, right? They'll take care of any complex transaction that you have. They can do anything that a big bank can do, obviously, because they are a big bank. But they give you a local flavor as well. They employ a lot of the local folks here that have been in business for a long time here at local banks, like my friend John Acosta, who's been here since 1983. They build relationships with people here locally, and they'll do the same with you. Go to Synovus.com to change your personal account over to Synovus. They have a great app, by the way, that works great, and your business account as well, where they'll take care of you and invest in you as well. Big bank with a local field, Synovus Bank. Back in 3.
Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to GeddesGordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com, or call 813-485-6808. Are you tired of those stuffy, overpriced sports bars? Well, come join the fun at the Patio in South Tampa and watch your favorite football teams under the stars in a tropical paradise. Yeah, it's a unique setting with huge wood decks beneath the trees, and don't worry, they have an inside AC bar with all your favorite bar games as well. The Patio has all the NFL and UFC sports packages, and it's home to the Tampa Gator Club and Bills Mafia, but all fans are welcome at any time. Hey, my FSU buddies love to watch the Noles at the Patio. It's also home to a great happy hour. Weekdays, get $4 White Claw vodka drinks and $4 White Claw seltzers, $1 off all beer and wine from 3 to 7:30. And every Friday happy hour, join us for Football Friday. It's our live broadcast from 5 to 7 with tons of specials and the fan mic for you to join the show. We'll have swag and ticket giveaways as well. So come out for the live broadcast 5 to 7 every Friday at the patio and come watch football in a tropical paradise all season long. It's 421 South McDill, just a few blocks south of Kennedy. Everyone meets at the patio.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Pearson Show here. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on our second hour. We're brought to you by the great folks at American Mortgage Services. Hey, rates are coming down. So if you've been waiting for the rates to come down, jump back in there and get the house now that you want, because there's still some inventory out there, and you can get to the Geddes Gordon Group to get you your house. And then Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services will get you your mortgage. And here's the reason why it's a good time to do that. Go get it, because right now there's a lot of inventory. And you can get a house for a decent price. Now, when the rates come down even more, then everybody who's on the sidelines is going to jump back in. Prices are going to go up again, and we'll be back to that frenzy where, you know, you're paying $60,000 more than the asking price. So if you've been on the sidelines, now's a good time to jump back in before everybody else does. You might pay maybe a point higher or point and a half higher. You can go back and refinance that in a couple of years, but you'll still have the house that you want, right? So that's what's important. So if you've been on the sidelines, don't do it anymore. From a mortgage standpoint, Scott at amstampa.com. He will explain the whole deal to you, what the smart people are doing right now. And, of course, the Geddes Gordon Group will help you find that house that you're looking for. So we got you all covered here with the Geddes Gordon Group and American Mortgage Services. Thanks to both of them for sponsoring the program.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
I'm getting in that real estate business. I'm going to start doing that Airbnb thing. Yeah.
You know how many times I've tried to get, like, not really, you know, wholeheartedly, but I've been told so many times throughout my life, you should sell real estate, man. With your personality, you're really good. You know, you're passionate at whatever you do. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a lot of school and studying and exams.
It's not a lot of that. It's
I'm
easy.
like,
I mean, that's not the hard part, but the hard part is actually dealing with it. My mom was a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with all these clients, and, you know, half of them are just kicking the tires, and you're spending hours and hours and hours and they have no intention of buying, and you're working for nothing, and they never buy. So that's a bad part of it. But I don't want to sell houses. I want to be on the ownership side where,
for sure.
You're buying up properties, Airbnb them, especially, you know, over here in the Windermere area, not far from Orlando. They're charging, you know what they're charging for hotel prices per night at the Swan and Dolphin? It's like $6,000 a night, like for a regular room.
Jeez.
It's unbelievable. I don't know what kind of like government BS is going on there, but it's to get a decent hotel room, it's going to cost you $400 or $500 a night. So now everybody's looking at Airbnbs, and if you can get, you know, $350 a night, you know, and you, instead of getting 2 rooms for a family, you can just get one Airbnb. You're saving a ton of money, and you can people are turning those into some serious profit. So it's a good business in Florida.
I want to be a big wig, like commercial real estate guy. Like I want to own office buildings and things like that.
You don't want to own office buildings anymore. No? Nobody's going to work. Everybody's working from home. That's not the place to be. So I think that's right.
You just burst my bubble, JP.
Yeah. See, well, that's we're offering financial advice here on the JP Peterson Show as well. I would suggest you go to Scott Fitzgerald for that, and not me. Scott at amstampa.com. All right, so let's. I got to get into a couple of subjects here. This is the pedophile portion of the show, folks.
We need all the disclaimers right now before we get into this segment, right?
Sponsored by your president. All right, we're just, you know, so unfortunately, Wander Franco was not a laughing matter, by the way. So what we learned from the Wander Franco arrest the other day, this is from CBS Sports. Said Dominican, via the Associated Press, by the way, Dominican prosecutors on Wednesday accused Wander Franco of commercial sex exploitation and money laundering following allegations that the Tampa Bay shortstop had a relationship with a minor whose mother also faces the same charges. Prosecutors requested that a judge hold Franco on $86,000 bond, bar him from leaving the Dominican Republic, and place him under house arrest. They noted that money laundering charges stem from the allegations that Franco made payments to the minor's mother. Now, in the additional reporting to this, yeah, not good. So basically, the mother was pimping out the 14-year-old, she was at the time, according to reports. Yeah. And, I'm not, again, we're just saying what has been reported out there. And I've talked to people in the DR and the culture down there is, a lot of these young girls are, like this mother forcing her daughter to be in relationships with older guys, pimping them out. It's what they do. And it's horrible. And, but that doesn't excuse Wander Franco, doesn't excuse anybody in this sordid affair. You got to be so much. I mean, Jesus, you're a Major League Baseball player. I mean, are the options not there?
Unlimited
of a adult age. I mean, the stupidity involved in this is off the charts. And do the Rays have any culpability here? I think it's fair to say, obviously, Wander Franco is acting on his own accord. I think it's fair to say that since the day this guy was signed at 16 years old and given a lot of money, there hasn't been a whole lot of mentoring going on. Maybe there's been, I don't know this because I'm not behind the scenes, and maybe there's been a lot of, and I'm sure the Rays have tried many, many times to obviously get him in line, but from the very beginning, he was just completely immature with his money. I mean, just the outward signs that we see, super expensive cars, tons of jewelry, leaving $200,000 worth of jewelry in your car to get stolen. I mean, geez, so stupid. But this is what, 19, 20-year-olds do when they get $4 million in bonus money, And so you have to have a culture in place and mentors in place where you're teaching these guys not to make these stupid mistakes. So, I mean, again, obviously for the Rays, and Wander, this is on him mostly. Like, you made these stupid decisions, allegedly. So, but, there's a lot of kids that are put in these positions. A lot of these young players, Hispanic players that get this money at 16 years old, you don't see them going out at other organizations and making these mistakes for the most part. There have been others, obviously. But you just look at the way the Rays do their business. They're not a lot of mentor type players that are in their organization because they go with cheaper, younger players. So there is a culture of youth throughout the organization, and not a whole lot of people that are maybe teaching them how to be professionals. At least in this particular case, the message did not get through to Wander Franco. So I don't want to throw the Rays under the bus too much here, but because I'm not there, I don't see what's going on. I don't see what they're doing from a mentoring standpoint. I just see the results, and this is this is catastrophic. Let's just be honest. You pour into a young player, and your entire franchise, the cornerstone, is Wander Franco. Because you play the way this team is managed, you got to find cheap players to perform. And not that they have to, but this is Stu Sternberg's choice. He chooses to make profit over pouring the money back into the team to make it competitive. That's a fact. That is a fact. So despite what he says and despite what you may read in the paper, that is a fact. He has tons of money that he could pour back into this team in terms of going out and signing a Blake Snell or signing any of these. Go read the lawsuit, folks. $500 million of Rays money that he moved into his own account in a separate company, allegedly. Sworn testimony by threat of perjury if that's not true. So and the numbers suggest that money was money that was taken up front from the television deal, allegedly. So all that fits. And that's why a judge just remanded that to a jury trial. So these are serious allegations, obviously against Wander, but this is the way the Rays run their business. It's a culture of youth. And now you have the cornerstone of your franchise who's probably not going to play Major League Baseball for quite some time. And if he does, I would guess it's not going to be in a Rays uniform. By the way, the Rays issued no comment to the Tampa Bay Times when they were asked about Monday's or Wednesday's development. So, and I know that the Rays are getting a lot of crap for not doing something about this. I think, again, so much of this information is not known, and I don't know the inner workings of contracts and how this is going to play out in the long run. or what the rules are in terms of the union, if they can void his contract and then be able to use that money, obviously, to sign other players, or if at some point he will become a tradable commodity, which of course you would want something back. And again, he has not been found guilty yet of anything. So these are all still charges and allegations. And the one thing we do know is that this mother extorted him. And I don't know about the money laundering charges. That seems weird. Because Wander's being extorted here. But again, I'm not a legal expert, but clearly they have something to go on there. And maybe this is more aimed at the mom than Wander. But either way, he's in some deep hot water. And he changed his representation, so I don't know what that means. Clearly, he didn't like what was going on before. Maybe they weren't paying off the right people.
Right.
But again, we'll see how this all works out. It's entirely possible that in 2 months they say we investigated it, and he's going to plead to a lesser charge. He's not going to jail for a significant period of time. He'll be back on the field X amount of times. At that point, do the Rays have the obligation to cut him or try and trade him or what have you? So, there's much more for this to come down. We still don't know the entire story, but the bottom line is he's the cornerstone of your franchise. And this is the worst possible thing, especially for a team that is devoid of offense. To lose a player like this it's catastrophic. And, if you're a Rays fan, you can't, that is story A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3. And it's going to have a large effect on this team moving forward. And that sucks because this team can't afford that.
There cannot be. There's no way he's able to resume his career in Major League Baseball. I can't fathom that another team is going to put themselves in that position where they're making themselves a part of it. I get it. You're not condoning it by signing the guy. And, he could see jail time for this. And if that's
Tim, I don't mean to be flippant about this, but the entire leadership of our country is involved, to some degree. It's like this is like we're going to punish him. Well, it's being normalized on so many levels, and I don't say that lightly. I'm just like, this is the world we live in. There's a lot of people turning the other cheek when there's gobs and gobs of evidence of our major leaders being involved in pedophilia. Just go look at the Epstein list. My God. It's every, just, you can have your political bent all you want, but facts are facts.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a year or so, will anybody care? Especially if they say, no, we didn't find, there wasn't, there was a relationship, but it wasn't sexual. We don't know. We don't know what they're going to come up with. We don't know. So I can't, now normally, in years past, and that we would, something like this would pop up and we like, wow, that is you can't come back from that. But in the world we live in, especially if you got money and you have power and you have influence, pretty much look the other way. Sad to say. Sad to say.
And you're not wrong.
Guard your children.
Yeah. But I just can't imagine because, and you know what? Maybe because of all that other crap that's going on right now, the teams would want to distance from it even more. Because it's at the forefront and because it's in the news, because it's happening to everywhere, then I can't imagine that a team would, regardless of the talent level, and there's nobody questioning how talented he is, but I just can't imagine somebody would do that. And I could be wrong.
Well, as Jordan G said, people said that about Josh Hamilton too. Of course, his was drug related, if I'm not mistaken. Pedophilia is that's
an entirely different category.
Different deal. So, and Casper is right. Stu will never pay for a guy, and I never think he'd pay him from the beginning anyway. Because remember, folks, that $182 million deal, he made $1 million last year. He's supposed to make $2 million this year. I think it's $5 million this year. Maybe it doesn't really kick into real money for another few years. So, don't, this whole idea, I love people, oh, but they're spending money on Wander Franco. No, they haven't. Not yet. No, they haven't. This obviously I think would violate some clauses in his contract, a behavioral contract, detrimental to the league and team. So I think they would be able to void the contract. But F around and find out. They could lose a lot of money. Was it worth it? I don't think so. And so as we continue with the pedophilia portion of the show.
Yes.
Apparently, Aaron Rodgers was right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I keep seeing differing
No,
reports.
Jimmy
about this.
Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's name showed up in the documents. Now, Jimmy said he never went to the island. Blah blah blah. But in the documents, he was present at the Palm Beach place, Epstein's place in Palm Beach, and according to the documents, I'm not going to say it, but you can go read the documents. Did some shenanigans there. So, and then this is what Aaron Rodgers alluded to on his appearance on Pat McAfee. Then McAfee comes back after getting bludgeoned by, like we talked about this on the show yesterday. Like, how long is ESPN the protector, of the whatever? How long is ESPN going to put up with McAfee having Aaron Rodgers on there spouting things about anti-vax and pedophilia and Jimmy Kimmel and Epstein Island? Like, how long are they going to let those narratives go on a Disney-owned channel? So McAfee comes on and kind of threw Aaron Rodgers under the bus. He's like, "Oh, I understand why Jimmy Kimmel was so pissed. Those are serious allegations." I mean, how does Aaron Rodgers feel about his buddy saying that after, and clearly, the executives at Disney were like, "Nah, we're not going. We're on Team Kimmel. He's our late night guy. He gets like 4 people watching the show every night. We got to have that." Yeah. Yeah. And you wonder why, Jimmy Kimmel has been so, towing those narratives so vehemently.
Right.
And you see how all of this stuff is intertwined and connected, and people are compromised. And it's like, wake up. And again, this is not political. These are facts, man. You can see them out in the open, and it's not good. It's not good for our culture to be normalizing this stuff and say it's okay and then let people get away with it. Like, it's not cool, but it is, but it's happening. I mean,
and I've never understood the Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers relationship anyway. Like, I know why Aaron goes on his show. Well, I used to, because Pat was an independent, before ESPN and all that. And he would let Aaron come on and literally say whatever the hell he wanted to say.
Yeah.
So that was Aaron Rodgers' national platform, other than his social media, to just literally come on and spout about anything and everything he wanted to, which was a lot,
Yeah.
Well, now that ESPN's got the Pat McAfee show and they pretty much own Pat McAfee, I kind of can't believe that he's still involved with it. And I get it. He's Aaron Rodgers.
It won't happen for long. It won't happen. In fact,
not with crap like that happening.
Yeah. And this is where McAfee's a sellout. Let's see what happens. Because I tell you right now, Disney and ESPN are like, he's done. We're not having Aaron Rodgers on the show anymore. Too much of a liability. Taking shots at our own talent. Right.
Yep.
Even though it's true, it turned out to be true. You're going to sue somebody for something that ain't true. You can't, by the way. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Kimmel knew damn well that he was going to be, well, he should have known he was going to be on that list. And he chose his words carefully. Say, I didn't go to the island. I didn't do that. And then, okay, but you were still on the list and involved.
That's going to be everybody's
allegedly.
defense now that's on the list.
Yeah.
Well, I never went to the island. I was on a couple of airplane rides to so-and-so, but yeah.
So, it wasn't just those guys. There was a lot of different people from both sides of the aisle. So I'm not, I'm not sitting there touting one side or the other. It's all disgusting. So, but and now it's funny how it's seeped its way into sports with Aaron Rodgers and McAfee. And I'm here for it, man. I got my popcorn ready. Like, what is Disney going to do now with Pat McAfee? They've invested a lot of money in him, like hundreds of millions of dollars. That deal was humongous. And, to some degree, he's been a sellout. I think he was part of the FSU narrative, the anti-FSU narrative. He jumped into that deal, but he has let Aaron Rodgers say that, the anti-vax stuff, the anti-Jimmy Kimmel and all these other, he's let him say that stuff.
Yep.
So I guarantee you there's a lot of friction going on right now between those two. And I'll be interested to see. My guess is the Aaron Rodgers appearance days are numbered.
And I wonder, of course, we'll never know this, at least not anytime soon, if part of the deal when ESPN came to McAfee and said, hey, we want your show, we want to air it on ESPN, we want to make you part of College Game Day, we want to do all of these things. If Pat McAfee, in order to try to stay true to himself and his show and his fans, if he didn't put a clause or something in that contract saying I still get to control content on my own show. But at some point, there's a legality clause where if you're going to start getting it sued, then no, you can't have that content on there. I just wonder, how deep that goes.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot.
Because this show is not the same as it was before.
No, it's not even close.
It's
not even
unwatchable.
close.
I used to watch it all the time, and it's borderline
not just me.
unwatchable.
It's just me. It's not.
No, it's unwatchable.
What bothers you about that show?
It's just like every other show on ESPN now. It's like every single other show. Before he was edgy, he did what he wanted. His persona is completely different now. It's not like it was a year ago, 2 years ago when he was doing his own thing. And to me, that was the appeal of his show. It wasn't an ESPN show. It wasn't a Fox show. It wasn't a CBS Sports show. It was Pat McAfee. He's just a dude, right?
Yep.
An ex-athlete who started a show and it blew up because he told the truth. He can't tell the truth anymore because ESPN owns him.
Exactly.
So the whole it's just like watching Get Up. It's just like watching First Take, dude. It's the same crapping show you see 50 times a day on the network.
Exactly, which is why Aaron Rodgers' days are numbered.
Yeah.
We'll see. Lonnie Wilkins says Ray's team store is telling fans they are not doing a Franco jersey exchange.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Of course. Why would you help out the fans?
Not the Rays. Oh, I'm sorry that you bought a $250 jersey with Wander Franco's name on it. And yeah, sorry about that. Would you like to buy another $250 jersey?
Yeah, just come buy another one.
Can I see their rap sheet first before I do? Can you tell us what you knew and when you knew it?
My God.
Thank you, Lonnie, for this. Just got back from a cool beach walk at Indian Rocks. Oh, so nice. So, JP, congrats on the engagement. Been behind, but want to say congrats getting a ring before the Rays. Thank you to the Gold and Diamond Source product placement right there. Where is? Oh, there we go.
Go get your Tyler Glass now. Oh, wait.
You just like you did. First of all, they should be able to have transposable numbers, like a digital nameplate or something that we could put on there, so we can just change it every time we go out there. Yeah,
just
Velcro. You buy a Velcro name in a generic jersey. Yes. Jordan says the irony of the Jimmy Kimmel stuff right now is he has the legal things of his own with George Santos slander right now. How does it feel? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's interesting. He's trying to deflect. I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah. Remember the Man Show? That was good, by the way.
Him and Adam Carolla.
Yeah, it's funny stuff. Kimmel Doc is fake. Oh, everything could be fake. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. Jordan says Aaron Rodgers Tuesday on Pat fulfilled his medial obligations for the week 2 that the NFL requires. Is that true? So he didn't have to talk to the media on Tuesdays, and he could just go on McAfee. Oh, that's interesting.
I did not know that you could do that.
No, I thought you had to talk to the local media every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but see, Brady did. Jordan said, just like Tom Brady used to do his own podcast, it is a way to avoid the media and get the questions that you want out there and the narrative that you want out there. No question. But Brady still had to come talk to us for his prescribed 9 minutes. And after the game at his choosing, answer 3 questions and leave. So yeah. And
then Jim Gray has to be the one to ask the questions.
Yeah, James asked an interesting question. Don't you think McAfee, when he signed the deal, had some protection against firing him? I would, yes, I would think so.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, there's got to be something in there.
Yeah, this is true too. The way Aaron chose his words, I don't think he was liable for anything. He said there's a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, really hope that this doesn't come out. That's an opinion. Yeah, absolutely. So, but I just think it's fascinating. More than, it's just how the media works now and how Disney works and how they, especially ESPN, they can concoct their narratives. It was interesting. I was, this is true too. Lanny says, like anything in life, it's good at the beginning. And once the corporate fingers get on the product, it gets neutered. Absolutely. And somebody, it's kind of the narrative that I've been talking about for a while. Somebody wrote a piece today on Twitter about, the effect of the FSU snub on our society. And this was kind of the next level thing I was talking about a month ago. It's not just that FSU got snubbed. Okay. It's not just that, they came up with this and concocted this narrative, to make you believe that this was some type of football decision. It was not. It was all political. And you'll see the smoking guns when they come out. If this ever goes to trial, which I don't think it will, they'll settle because of that. But it's just, as I said then, it tells when we grow up, we're told that if we work hard and we practice our curveball, and we practice our jump shot, and we practice our 10-yard outs, and we do it 10,000 times, we will become an expert at it, and we will earn our way to an NFL contract, a scholarship, or a state championship, at whatever level you're doing it. And that's going to be decided fair and square on the field and go to the team that has performed the best. And what happened here was at the highest level, which is something that is endemic to our culture that we live in right now. A powerful corporation entity comes in and says, I don't care. I don't care what you do. We have the power. And I don't care what the laws are. I don't care what the president is. I don't care what the Constitution says. We can do it. We're going to do it. And there's nothing you can do about it. And that's why I think it resonated so far beyond Florida State. It's just not, it's not just football. It's work, it's vaccines, it's arrest, it's the justice system, it's all these things that have just become so political issues, the border, crime, all these things, is that the people in charge can do whatever the hell they want to do. And there's no, and they are doing it. And they're looking at you, say, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing, because we're in charge. And that makes people feel really anxious. It makes them feel disenfranchised, and it's anti-American culture, or at least the old American culture. And I think that's why it's resonated so much. People are pissed about it. They're tired of it. They're just tired of it. They want a fair shake, and they ain't getting it. And I think that's why this has resonated so much to so many people. And it's sad. And as I said the other day on Twitter, it's taken my joy for watching college football, and College Game Day used to be my favorite show. Man, I love that show. You've heard me talk about this. I said it's the greatest show on television. Yep. They cover everything from the fans to the mascots to the great stories, and they dig, and it's just 3 hours of just everything I love about college football. And you just destroyed it. Like, I can't even watch Kirk Herbstreit. I can't even watch him. I can't even listen to him. Same with Desmond Howard. I love those guys. Love them. Reese Davis. Love them. These guys have been on my show over the years. Fantastic. Yeah. Love them. And now I'm just like, ugh. And I can't help myself. I'm trying to, train my brain to just understand, like, this is the way of the world now, man. Let it go. Let it go. You're going to get stuck there because it ain't going to change. Hopefully it will, but I don't think it will.
You can't have good old day syndrome in this climate. It's because it's never going to be the same. It'll never be like it was when we were younger, when the world was a better place. You know what I mean? Especially in broadcasting.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And we have a small platform here, and it's decent size for Tampa Bay. Damn right. We're doing great. But compared to ESPN, we're a blip on the screen. But if, for whatever, and yes, have my opinions cost me jobs? Oh, hell yes. It cost me a lot of money. Probably about $500,000 at 620 WDAE. That's right. Yeah. But I'm not going to get on there and spout some company BS narrative that I don't believe in. Not doing it about the Rays or anybody else, about kneeling on a football field or anything else. I'm not doing it. And, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. And someday maybe they'll shut this down too. Who knows? But until they do, we're going to keep telling you what we feel. And honestly speaking, what we feel is our truth. And I know all of you don't agree with me, and you call me names and all that. That's fine. At least I can sleep at night. I can sleep at night knowing that these are my convictions. I'm going to keep talking about it. It may not change anything, but at least you know that you can tune in here. And if you're like-minded, you will hear it, and you can chime in and we'll read your stuff. And if you disagree, we'll put that out there too. Put it in the chat. Be happy to talk about it and debate it. Anytime, anywhere.
I'm kind of shocked at the lack of hate speech towards me on this show. Being a self assumed Cowboys fan and Rangers now, and talking stars and all this. I can't believe I don't get more. Maybe I'm just not significant enough.
No, well, we do it in spots where it's appropriate. Like when we're talking about the Cowboys, it affects the Buccaneers.
Sure.
We're talking about the Stars, it usually affects the Bolts. So we do it. I want to know about the Rangers. You just won the World Series. That's pertinent information. We do national stuff when it's pertinent, and especially when it's has a connection to Tampa Bay. So I think we do it in a right way. And for the most part, I have a very mature audience. We don't have, we had a couple of, numbskulls that showed up here today doing stupid stuff. And like, do you not have anything better to do with your life than put stupid, insulting comments like you're a middle school kid?
Right.
So we don't have a lot of that. Thank God. They're in other places.
We call
those
have a keyboard warriors.
Yes, we have. You could see from the comments that most of these people that comment here are educated, intelligent people, which is why they listen to this show. That's our demographic. So you're not going to get, Cowboys suck. Might get a few, but after a while,
okay.
they'll get tired of the thoughtful conversation and leave.
See, the difference between me and most Cowboys fans is I'm not a delusional Cowboys fan. All right, I'm completely realistic about my fandom. And we haven't won a Super Bowl in like several people's lifetimes, and that's fine. We may not win in one for a long time, but I'm still going to watch and cheer.
Joe, I have not seen you. Thanks for jumping in. Jay breaks F-ball. Great point on the Victory Monday crap. Yeah, if you heard that, we were talking about the mindset of the Buccaneers last week, and it was, first thing first, they win a big game into Jacksonville. It's like Victory Monday, take the day off. When it should have been, it's Saints week. We're coming in to prepare, and we're getting ready, and we're going to, Dennis Allen's out there going to full padded practice. We're having Victory Monday. It kind of looked like that on Sunday, didn't it? One team was serious about it. The other one was, having, worrying about New Year's Eve and Christmas and Victory Monday. Yep. There are times for that in the middle of the season, but at the end of the season, when you got 2 shots, and now look what you've done. You wasted a shot and your quarterback's hurt because you didn't get it done the first week. That's why you have to treat every opportunity like it's your last. And the Bucs did not do that. Here's James trying to say, I know ESPN was pissed at FSU, but Georgia won over Bama Knowles. What? Would have been 4th seed and played Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Had Georgia won over Bama, Knowles would have been 4th seed and played Georgia. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think you're right. No, actually, you're wrong, James. Florida State was not getting in. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter what.
Still would have been Texas.
It would have been Texas.
Yeah,
because they would have said, "Oh, Georgia, Georgia beat Alabama and Texas beat Alabama, so we're taking Texas." I'm telling you, it would have been Texas was 3rd, and they were going to be 3rd. And FSU was going to be out. Georgia would have been 4th. Yeah. Don't fool yourself. It was not about football. It's not about football. Because unprecedented. They put TCU in. They put Cincinnati in. I could go back, how many times that we've gone through this. It wasn't about football. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We got some hot stove stuff to talk about. What are the Rays doing? They getting ready to sign Blake Snell?
Go get your Blake Snell jersey.
Get an old one. Maybe they're still selling them. Maybe that could be it. Yeah. We are brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. Get on over there for their after Christmas sale. They've got tons of inventory, great prices. If you got some Visa gift cards or some cash for the holidays, go spend it at the Gold and Diamond Source. Keep that money local because that money goes back into your community in terms of salaries and charity work that they do. Julie's Hands Across the Bay charity has done so much for domestic violence victims. It's a tremendous charity. Help that charity if you can, and just shop there at the Gold and Diamond Source. That's why we support these local community companies. Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Back in 3. Are you tired of those stuffy, overpriced sports bars? Well, come join the fun at the Patio in South Tampa and watch your favorite football teams under the stars in a tropical paradise. Yeah, it's a unique setting with huge wood decks beneath the trees, and don't worry, they have an inside AC bar with all your favorite bar games as well. The Patio has all the NFL and UFC sports packages, and it's home to the Tampa Gator Club and Bills Mafia, but all fans are welcome at any time. Hey, my FSU buddies love to watch the Noles at the Patio. It's also home to a great happy hour. Weekdays, get $4 White Claw vodka drinks and $4 White Claw seltzers, $1 off all beer and wine from 3 to 7:30. And every Friday happy hour, join us for Football Friday. It's our live broadcast from 5 to 7 with tons of specials and the fan mic for you to join the show. We'll have swag and ticket giveaways as well. So come out for the live broadcast 5 to 7 every Friday at the patio and come watch football in a tropical paradise all season long. It's 421 South McDill, just a few blocks south of Kennedy. Everyone meets at the patio. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Pure Sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
Pete Peterson Show here, brought to you by the folks at the patio. Head on out to watch the national championship game this Monday, if you can stand it. No, I'm definitely going to be watching. Great place to watch it. Get there a little bit early, though. Be prepared to stay late because it's probably going to go till about 1 o'clock in the morning. And Washington and Michigan, they'll have drink specials going on, food specials going on. Great place to watch it with the great weather outside. It's the patio, 421 South McDill. All right, I wanted to get into a little bit of baseball talk here, not the Wander Franco stuff. But
And before we get into that, you guys, I don't know if y'all talked about or if it was while y'all were on the air yesterday, the fire at Tyreek Hill's house.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, you haven't heard this?
No.
Oh, it was big breaking news yesterday. They had video and everything. Tyreek Hill's Miami home caught on fire yesterday. And they had helicopters flying over and videoing it. It was all over the news and social media. He had to leave Dolphins practice early to go, of course, tend to the fire. Nobody hurt. Today it came out that the fire was deemed accidental by the fire marshal because one of his kids was playing with matches.
Ooh.
Burned his house. I mean, I don't know how bad the damage was. It was a pretty big, I mean, it's a huge house, obviously, and it was a pretty big fire. So everybody got out okay. Nobody's injured. Everybody's safe, but kid playing with matches is the cause as it comes out today.
How old?
I don't know. I have no idea.
First of all, who has matches anymore around?
Yeah, right.
Like, I haven't seen a matchbook in forever. Right?
No, it's kind of an antiquated thing.
I thought he was running sprints inside in the
carpet caught on fire.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Wow. That's it. I tell you a story. I don't want to out the person, but so this is an NFL player who was, kind of trying to make a team for the, I'll say, I think I should say the team, the Redskins. And they were friends from a previous team that they played on. And this particular guy was like, hey, can I, you're not, and that guy had gotten traded to another team, and his house was just sitting there in Washington, not being used. And he was like, hey, do you mind if my family goes up there, for the season, we can rent your house? And he's like, yeah, man, that'd be great. No problem at all. It's just sitting there. So yeah, have at it. So he's got this like $3 million mansion. And he was like using the grill outside, nothing out of the ordinary, and out by the pool, and we're saying, kind of one of those enclosures. And something went wrong, and I guess he left some coals or something in the bottom of it. Came back from practice, and luckily nobody was home, but the house burned to the ground.
Oh. Well, you might have done the other player a favor, because I'm sure it was insured. So
yes, it was. Yeah, but
selling it.
All the memorabilia and stuff like that. It's like, ooh, God. I mean, it's just an accident. That stuff happens or whatever. But it's like, man, can you imagine? Yeah. Sorry.
I'm terrified of fires anyway, man.
No.
It's just that.
Don't mess around.
No.
Yeah. CBS Sports, this is RJ Anderson, I believe, giving grades to all. Of course, RJ, I think he used to work for the Rays. So the Rays are one of a handful of teams. He was doing at the midpoint of free agency, giving grades. The Rays are one of the handful of teams to not sign a free agent to a big league contract this winter. They were involved in a notable trade, netting promising right-hander Ryan Pepio and outfielder Johnny DeLuca from the Dodgers for ace Tyler Glasnow and outfielder Manuel Margot. We like the deal for Tampa Bay. We're docking a grade anyway because of a 99-win squad should be making moves that signal inclusive welcomeness to a World Series title, rather than the desire to save their own owner some pebbles. Well, I think you got and gave him a B. I don't think, again, this is silly. This is silly. Are the Rays a better team with Tyler Glasnow? I get it. You had to throw Manuel Margot in there to get rid of his salary. Okay. That was all that was about. And the Dodgers, would take it and probably won't even play on their team because they don't care. But, you're not a better team, and you're certainly not more apt to win a World Series when you get rid of an ace of Tyler Glasnow's capability. And you can sit there and talk about injuries and everything else. Other teams don't do things that way. Other teams that are trying to win a World Series are not acting like their team is their own personal ATM like Stu does. And everything is about money to him and him making money. And that's first and foremost. That's 1, 2, and 3 on the priority scale. And then if you can, Eric Neander, if you can go out there and win a World Series with $80 million payroll, good for you. But I mean, to sit there and say, give them a B, when you're also saying that, look, a team with 99 wins should be adding, not subtracting their best pitcher simply because of money. That's all there was to it. It was money. And you cannot make it, well, he was injured. You want to get something for him. What if Tyler Glasnow isn't injured this year? Now that he's had 17 surgeries, maybe they got it right. And maybe he goes out and he pitches like an ace and wins a Cy Young like Blake Snell did last year. And then where are you? So, and this is baseball, folks. There are no guarantees, obviously, but you're not a better team. You're not. And this has been the MO of this team and will continue to be. And that's kind of sad. Other workings, we said Blake Snell looks like he is maybe headed to, dare I say, the New York Yankees.
Gross.
New York Yankees.
By the way, it's just not AL East teams that hate the Yankees, just so y'all know.
Yeah. How much did the Rangers spend last year? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, but I can find out real quick.
Yeah. And some of the, I think their payroll was like 180, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Close, yeah.
Which of course is $100 million more than the Rays. I'm trying to look at the other. Obviously, we're looking at the free agent. Cody Bellinger is still out there. Matt Chapman is still out there. Blake Snell is still out there. Marcus Stroman is still out there. Jordan Montgomery is still out there. Kevin Kiermaier signed a 1-year, $10.5 million deal with the Blue Jays. I did not know that. Congrats,
so
Kevin.
JP, for the Rangers, after the Max Scherzer trade, after all of the trades, by the end of the season, $251 million.
Whoa, I was way off.
I think going into the season, it was around 160 or 180.
Right, yeah,
Of
maybe
course,
that's
they
what I
added a
remember.
ton.
Yeah.
And then the Diamondbacks, of course, who they beat.
How'd they finish?
4 games to 1.
How'd
Who,
they-
the Diamondbacks or the Rangers?
No, the Rangers. Yeah.
Number 1, JP. We won the World Series. I don't know if you guys heard or not over there in Florida.
Oh yes.
Beat the Diamondbacks in 5 games. By the way, the Diamondbacks payroll at the end of the season, 119.
Mm-hmm. One of the lower ones, but guess what? They didn't win.
Very well managed. Made the
Very
World
well
Series.
managed. Yeah, still significantly higher than the Rays.
Didn't win, though.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of good free agents out there. Harrison Bader is out there. Jorge Solar, something that the Rays were attached to in years past. But I don't expect them to do anything significant in the free agent market. But there's still, Tommy Pham is out there. Bring him back.
Right.
The guy that's been uber productive and is serious about winning would bring a little bit of gravitas to the locker room. But a lot of guys didn't like him. You know why? Because he'll bust your ass and expect you to play hard and do the right things. They don't. So a lot of young players don't like that.
Right.
Aroldis Chapman is out there at 35 years old. I'm not saying they should go sign all these guys. I'm just saying G-Man Choi is a free agent. We all love him. So maybe they bring him back. Who knows? But at this point, I don't think that the Rays they're probably too busy trying to figure out what the name of the team is going to be. This just in. Baker Mayfield is practicing this morning. How about that? Wow.
But how's he look? That's what I would be interested in knowing. How's he look? And what is he practicing with? Is he practicing with a flak jacket? Just to get used to the feel? I mean, I know he's not getting hit, obviously, but you're not going to go into a game with that being the first time you've worn that in a while if you think you're going to play.
Yeah. Let me go check our friends at the Pewter Report and see what they have reported today. I don't see anything. Baker Mayfield was at practice today, but threw the ball very lightly, both during warmups and then throwing to Bucs OC Dave Canales and other quarterbacks. Watching his throwing motion. Oh yeah.
CJC 22 says it's just a walkthrough. He's just throwing.
Yeah,
so
just a
there's
walkthrough. So he's out there throwing. Watching the video right now. And then I guess I could show it to you guys too.
Oh, look at that. Who posted that?
That is Matt
Matty?
Matera. Matty
Matty did,
Matera. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously not going full bore, but this particular drill is not full bore anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
doesn't look very comfortable, does he?
Nope. Well, we shall see. It's going to be. I think we had a very interesting discussion. If you're just joining the show beforehand, on what a huge decision this is going to be for Todd Bowles. And you gotta, and this is where you make your money. And how good can Baker be? How good can Trask be? How much do you need from your quarterback to win a game against a Panthers team that looks like last week at least had given up, whose owner is throwing drinks on people? I don't know. So it's going to be a critical decision. And my point earlier was Todd Bowles usually takes the safe route. He's not going to I doubt he will play Trask even if Baker is 50%. Because I think if he's 50%, you play Trask. The closer you get to 75%, the less Trask I think should play. But if he's that limited, and then you spend the entire week getting Trask ready and letting Baker heal, that should be your. But if it gets to the point, you got to make that call. But here's the thing: if you lose that game, and they say, "Well, of course you lost. You started Trask the first start of his career in the most important game." But if by your judgment and your coaching staff and you all look at him and say Baker just is not up to snuff, you have to make that choice and live and die with it and go out and win the damn game. It's the freaking Panthers. It's not like you're playing the Saints again. You already screwed that up. So,
you should have won the week before then, and none of this would be an issue right now.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. What else did we want to get to today? Any other things on your duck? Oh, the Pro Bowl snubs. I don't want to get into too much of this because I have zero respect for the Pro Bowl. But everybody's talking about Antoine Winfield getting snubbed for Budda Baker, who had no interceptions, no forced fumbles. I mean, Winfield's resume compared to Budda Baker's, it's like a joke. It's a joke. I mean, Budda, I think, had 77 tackles. Winfield had 117. I mean, it's not even close. But this is the fallacy of the Pro Bowl. And Rick Stroud brought this up that, it is important because when they vote on the Hall of Fame, when Ira Kaufman goes in there and votes on Sal Palantonio, friends of the show come in there and vote on the Hall of Fame, what do they talk about? How many Pro Bowls did he go to? How many, Tristan Wirfs doesn't go to the Pro Bowl. I mean, come on. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Mike Evans is the only Buccaneer that goes to the Pro Bowl. Wirfs should be there. Antoine Winfield should be there. Those two guys, without question. But I don't get too wrapped up into it, except the fact that it does affect your legacy. And I'm like, why can't we do this better? Like, there's so many things that are so easily fixed, but we don't fix them. Yeah. Like this is pretty easy stuff. Instead of having like the official Pro Bowl vote, if you want to, so we get the fans involved. Do you think the fans really care about voting for the Pro Bowl? No.
Don't even watch it. I mean, that's why they had to change it. It's not, they don't do the game anymore. It's a series of fun events and skills competitions, right?
It's meaningless. So put together a blue ribbon committee of general managers, veteran players, maybe some ex-players, a 30-person panel or whatever, 32, get somebody that represents and don't make it political, make it people who are serious about football and let them vote. Let them, watch the tape. You are tasked with watching everybody this year and having a good feel for it. So people that are still in the game, that are watching, that are current general managers, that are current, and have these people vote. Not this shenanigans we got going on now, because it is important when it comes to the legacy of the players. And I for one, and tip of the cap to Mike Evans. What a year, to lead the league in touchdowns with a brand new quarterback and a brand new play caller. I mean, at 30 years old, contract year, ching, ching, my friend, ching, ching. You went out and earned it. Unlike Devin White, you went out and you earned it, and you did a hell of a job. And
they're going to pay him to keep him, you think?
Mike? Yeah, they're going to pay him. They're working there. In fact, they're working on an extension for him and Baker, I've been told. So, yeah, I think either one could be announced sooner than later. I don't know. But they're definitely working on both. And I think Mike has proven, and, people could say, well, he proved that beforehand. I like, nah, no, when you reach 30, it's a different deal. Let's see how he meshes with Baker. Let's see how he does this year. And he proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that he ain't slowing down. And that's what you do. You go out and you prove it. Antoine Winfield, contract year, went out and proved it. Devin White played half-ass football for 90% of the year. Played 2 games, showing that he can do it when he wants to do it, but doesn't. So you're gone. And now they'll move forward, trying to make a decision on. And listen, I think they can. You want to rebuild this team, with younger players. You got some good young defensive players that you found. Yaya Diaby, Cansey looks better each and every week. He's learning how to play with leverage and quickness in this league, and he'll get stronger. By the way, he'll get bigger and stronger as he kind of grows into his body. Because man, he is small, and he looks so young. When you interview him, Tim, like the last thing you would be checking off is defensive lineman in the NFL. Like the last thing. He looks more like a fullback, and but incredibly athletic. He'll get bigger, he'll get better, and playing really well. All right, let's go to some of the comments here. I haven't got to many of them, so we'll go back to the beginning. We got to a few of them here. If you see some you want to jump in there, please do, Timmy.
Okay.
Where are we? Some of these we've already gotten to. Thank you. Appreciate that. If Bucks coach is a coach like last week, the Bucks will lose, says James, especially on D. I'm not worried about offense. It's Bowles' defense that scares me. If Bowles stays in the top zone, Bucks won't win and everyone's fired. Totally agree.
Yeah, that's bottom line. That's exactly how it is.
And what did they do when they had success against Bryce Young? They rushed him. They got after him. Yes, he got a couple of, at least one cheapie late. That kind of made it a game, but the Bucks dominated that for the most. Kelly Dwight Fields, thanks for jumping in. She said a quarterback that's 6'5" and demolished Georgia in the rain his last season at Florida and had no defense or running game. Go ahead, attack me. to the other commenters.
Mhm.
Look, I mean, like Todd Bowles said, he has all the confidence in the world in Kyle Trask. Now, what else is he going to say, right? But I think just that comment
Wow.
alone, yeah,
That right there is kind of a shocking sports opinion right there.
take a 75% Trask. I think Kelly Dwight Fields is a big Trask fan.
Obviously.
I'm not going to go that far.
No, I won't go that far.
No.
So would you take a healthy Trask over a 75% Baker? That's the question that should be asked. I still think I'd take a 75% Baker. I think he's got to be 60% or less.
I
to
think
not
it's
play.
75%. I take Baker. Yeah, I take Baker. But so much of it is, game planning too, because so much of Baker's game is movement, right? When he's just sitting in the pocket and trying to avoid getting hit, that's not his game. It's not his game. So if your game plan is like, Baker's going to beat you with short passes from the pocket. No, I'm not going into the game like that. You got to have your full. You're a downfield passing team. I don't care what you say, Dave Canales. You are not a power running team. You are a downfield passing team. Your best assets are, and as we see Trey Palmer come into the fold, your best assets are Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Trey Palmer, and Rachaad White out of the backfield. Those are your best assets. Now, you can't just solely rely on Rachaad White out of the backfield. The defense will get wise to that and they'll pull everything up and they'll shut that down and the run. And then if Baker cannot get to push the ball downfield and they realize that, you've limited yourself dramatically when you don't have to. Even if Steve Kyle's out there, at least you got to say you got to respect the deep ball.
Yep.
If Baker is showing early on that he can't make the throws, and you don't think the Panthers are going to be watching warm-ups and everything, of course they are. And they're going to determine very early on whether they think he can get the ball downfield. And if he can't, you're putting yourself at a tremendous disadvantage by not using the weapons that you have available to you. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. 100%.
RJ Martin talking about Wanda Franco. It's sick if she was 14. Don't want him in a Rays jersey if it's true. I'm going to be a dad soon, and this turns my damn stomach. Those are the reports. So, we're not saying, that's according to the AP. That's according to the Dominican Republic reports. It's not our reports, but those are the reports. That's what's been on social media. So it's all allegedly. But, yeah, I think a lot of fans feel that way.
And I'll tell you this, RJ, you're about to be a father. Congratulations, if you're not already. JP, you've got a daughter.
Yeah.
An older adult daughter, right?
Yeah.
So I've got 2 daughters out of my 6 kids. 2 of them are daughters. One's 27, one is 22. And one of my favorite songs in the 80s, JP, I was a big hair band guy because I had hair.
Yeah.
Was 17 by Winger, right? One of my favorite songs when it came out. Loved that CD. I rocked it. When my oldest daughter turned 17, it put that whole song into perspective for me, and it changed my life.
Okay.
So I'm like, wait a minute. No, my daughter's 17 now. That's just not okay.
It's a little different. Yeah. It's a little different.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah. And the attack on our children these days in the media, it's, what they're getting, available on this and every other iPads and as a parent, it's your job to be diligent and restrict what they can see and what they do, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard because their kids have phones, the other kids have iPads, everything, and it's all out there for them to see, and they can't handle it. They shouldn't be on group chats. They don't know how to handle group chats.
No.
It's just their brains aren't ready for this.
Nope.
Nathan Elliott says, when I see Todd Bowles this offseason, I will let him know about how everyone that I sit with feels about losing to the Aints at RGS. You do not lose. Yeah, that's why this last week was it affected me. Like you can lose to the Saints. Like I told everybody all week, don't be counting your chickens. It's a good, it's a decent Saints team that has owned us a lot at even when Tom Brady played here, right? We know the history of this team. Everybody that was just counting it, like most of the players, we're going to win this game. We're on a roll, blah, 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 blah. And that's when you're not ready to play in a game like that. That just tells you all you need to know about the culture of the team.
Yeah.
Victory Monday. Why? You won a game against the Jags. You've done nothing. I don't like it.
It's a bad look
Bad look.
for your coach.
Yeah, for your coach. All right. Thank you guys for jumping in. Appreciate that. Let's hope that Baker gets well and he plays. If not, it'll be interesting to see what Trask does and get him ready. Get him ready. Under no and I don't care if Trask plays and the Bucks lose. I do not want to hear you people. Well, Todd Bowles, it's not his fault he lost his quarterback. Yeah, it is. Should have got it done last week. This game shouldn't even mean anything. So yeah, I don't want to hear that. You go, whether it's Trask or Mayfield, you go in there and you win the freaking game. Bottom line. All right, Timmy, thanks to you. Thanks to Greg Wolf. If you missed anything, go check it out on the podcast, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. Please like and subscribe, YouTube, all that good stuff. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.